spread the word. The JCPenney Friends and Family Sale is back. And this week, we're passing the savings on to you. Use your extra 30% off coupon to prep your home and style your family for Easter. That's extra savings on top of our great low prices. Plus, share your coupon with everyone you know and love. It's always better when we save together. JCPenney. Make everybody count. Offer valid 3/11 through 3/17. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Mag 24/7 podcast. I'm your host, Killian, and I have my co-host here, Benno. How are you doing, Benno?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. How are you?
Not too bad, brother. And for the panel, rest of the panel, we have Jono, Masood, Phil, and Gaza. Good evening, gents. How are we?
How are you doing? Everyone well?
I'm good. How are you guys?
All good, all good, all good.
Raring to go for this one. This is going to be a really enjoyable one. I'm going to hand over to my co-host, Benno, and he's going to run through it.
Evening, guys. Evening, listeners. We've obviously been International Week this week. We just want to go a little bit about our kind of bit of history with Man United and basically have a little bit of fun as we go. What we're going to do is we're going to look at covering our best ever Premier League 11 for Man United. We're going to discuss our best captain from that team as well. The top 3 signings and why. We're then going to go into a worst 11, a worst 3 signings and why. And we'll see how we go from there. I'm sure there's going to be a bit of back and forth. I can already sense a bit of spice brewing. It's windy outside, so come on, let's get it going. Let's cause a bit of chaos. So, that's the plan for tonight, guys. Hope everybody listening enjoys.
This is going to be a cracker. So, without further ado, will we kick off? Do you want to kick off things, Benno, and then we'll go around the table and then we'll finish off myself?
Yeah, of course, can, mate. So my best Premier League 11, I'll be honest, I've gone with this. It's purely based on players that I've seen. And I've actually built a system. I've not just put 11 of the best players down. I've got it. For me, it works. So I can sense somebody's going to get a bit of steam coming out their ears just before I even come out. So I've gone with Peter Schmeichel in goal. I've gone with Dennis Irwin at right back. I think you can't not have him in your team. For me, I've gone with Rio and Vidic as my centre-back pairing with Evra on the left. I've gone for a midfield 3 of David Beckham, Roy Keane and Paul Scholes. And then up front, I've got Ronaldo, Van Nistelrooy and Wayne Rooney with Roy Keane as my captain. I can already see some shaking heads. That's my 11.
Not bad. What are we thinking, boys? First off, Evra. Now, I did choose Evra myself, but I took him out. Why did you choose Evra over, for example, a Gary Neville?
So for me, it's purely based on system. If I'd have gone with a 4-4-2, I probably would have gone with Gary Neville on the right and Irwin on the left. But because I got the 4-3-3, I think Evra's put a bit more up and down. And I think it just fits the system a little bit more of what I'm going with.
I'll say nothing. I'll leave it to the boys. Daz, you're looking devastated here. What do you reckon?
I'm lost for words. I cannot believe the most decorated player in our history hasn't made Benno's squad.
Yeah.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Before we get into that, we might just go a bit around the group first, just to see what everyone else picked.
Can I just whilst you got with me then? So obviously, as we know, there's a bit of back and forth between me and Chase last week. Now he's not wanting to front the camera this week, to be honest with you. He's hiding behind the keyboard, but he's actually sent me his best 11 as well.
Oh no!
So I'd like to throw this out here, and we can get involved all around. So he's gone with right. Buckle up, boys. Buckle up, and ladies. So Pete Schmeichel in goal. Rafael da Silva at right back. Rio Ferdinand and Jaap Stam at the back. Gabriel Heinzer at left back. Roy Keane and Park Ji-sung in the middle. With Diego Forlan, Ryan Giggs, Van Nistelrooy, and Chicharito. I hope I did that all right for you, Chase, up front.
That was his worst 11, wasn't it?
Shots fired.
Are you joking, bro? Are you actually joking?
I promise you, that is right there.
Wow, mind blown.
It's a lot of American heavy there. I mean, the South Americans is.
Well, here, Liz.
It's the cartel.
Yeah, we
That's what it is. It's a cartel.
we know maybe his
Going for
alliances
location.
might lie in the Latino community with some of those choices.
Definitely going for location. It's definitely going for location.
He must be joking with the Forlan thing. He has to be.
I can only go off what he's given me.
And I'm not just saying that because Diego Forlan's my missus's crush, but I'm not jealous in any sort of way. But he cannot be in the greatest ever. That's a joke.
Well, I mean, if we look in the comments, Chase is already saying, "Bring the fire, baby." So I think someone needs putting out here. Let's be honest, fire needs putting out.
Right. We'll discuss it maybe later on.
Yeah.
Jono, what do you reckon, bro? What did you go with?
I went for Schmeichel, Neville, Ferdinand, Vidic, Evra, Beckham, Roy Keane, Scholes, Ryan Giggs, Rooney, and Cantona. Obviously I'm a bit younger than a few of you, so it's the team that I'd go with from players I've seen. So like some of the fullbacks that have been mentioned, I haven't seen because of my age. So that's what I've gone with based on my age. Yeah.
In fairness, there's not too many there we could argue with that doesn't deserve a spot in that 11. Dazza?
So, just to give you a bit of context here, right? So I went 4-4-2. I went old school, 92, 93, 94. And I picked players that I thought would fit the system and also for their impact on the club. Right, so just bear that in mind. So right back, Gary Neville. Centre back, Steve Bruce. With Nemanja Vidic and Irwin left back.
That's a bit of a slow back four, bro.
That's fucking solid as a rock. No one's getting.
There's no high line there. I can tell you that one.
No. We don't need Schmeichel in goals. Obviously, I think that's a given for most of us, right?
Yeah.
Beckham on the right, Keane, Scholes, and Giggs right across that four, with Cantona playing in the pocket and Ruud van Nistelrooy up front.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
Similar to me there, except for a few changes in the back.
The way I looked at it was just 8 out of my 11 have wore the captain's armband at some point. Thousands of appearances, loads of Champions Leagues and trophies between them. So, and impact on the club. That's why I went for them.
Very, very, very good picks. In fairness, just you wouldn't want to be up against Mbappe or Henry. But that's a very good, very good. Philo, what you go with, brother?
Here we go.
Right. So mine's pretty similar to Daz's. I've gone through the early 90s. So mine's Schmeichel, Irwin, Vidic, and here's one for you, Paul Parker.
He was that for getting in for me, Phil.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
My midfield, and I'm going to say the best to last. Keane, Scholes, and Giggs are pretty the most obvious ones. And my right side is going to go to Andrei Kanchelskis.
Woo!
My forwards, Andy Cole, purely because of the treble winning season.
Yeah.
It's our biggest achievement yet.
Yeah.
And you can't discount our all-time top goal scorer in Wayne Rooney. And I'm having Irwin as my captain.
Woo! Love it. Love it.
Come at me.
Yeah.
Eric was my captain, by the way. I meant to say it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah,
Can't
you can't argue with either of them, to be fair.
Roy Keane's my captain.
Yeah. Nice.
Dude.
Okay, so I'm similar to Phil and Deza as well. I mean, I'm growing up in the 90s, so it's a 90s team heavy because obviously you're going to choose. I mean, let's basically all say we're probably going to have Sir Alex Ferguson manage each of our teams because he's our greatest manager. So I'll be like Deza, I will go 4-4-2. Goalkeeper was very close, but I've gone for Van der Sar instead of Schmeichel.
Ooh.
Then Gary Neville right back. Vidic and Stam as centre backs. And Dennis Irwin as your left back. And then I'll come to the full backs in a second why I've chosen them as well. But your midfield in a pure 4-4-2 would be Beckham, Scholes, Keane, and Giggs. And up front I'd have Rooney and Cantona.
Same as me, yeah.
The reason why I've chosen Irwin and Giggs and Neville and Beckham is that they've played together for like countless games. So systems wise, they'll complement each other in terms of how they play the game as well. And if you break that down, if you change your format and go to a 4-2-3-1, you could have Scholes and Keane with maybe Rooney or Cantona interchanging as the top one, and you have Giggs. One of Rooney and Rooney or Cantona and Beckham on the right, so they can even interchange in that system as well.
Hang on. Hello, Masood, the FA are on the phone. Do you want a job?
Ding dong. Right, no, very good. We can't really argue. Mine's quite similar, so I'll give you my.
There's some sorry, Kilo, just to come in there quickly. No, there's some background. There's another YouTube video. I'll share it to the guys in the group. I've done this before on a friend's podcast as well, where we had to do a greatest team. So I'll actually share the episode that I was on. So it's exactly the same team I chose there.
Very good, very good. Well, look forward to it. So I was half expecting you to do a chase there and throw in Quinton Fortune there, brother. Being
Look,
from
I
SA.
couldn't choose my best ever. Like I've gone for Keane as captain as well, but I couldn't choose my favorite player of all time at United, which is Brian Robson. But because I mean he didn't play that much in the Premier League era, so he was coming to an end of his career, so he wasn't part of the greatest Premier League side or whatever.
Yeah, that's a great point, and
I was
a point.
The same, Masood. I was the same.
Yeah, that's a point I wanted to make was Brian Robson isn't in my all-time 11, and that's the reason why. And also, I'm nearly 37, so I only got to see when I was a child. I only got to see the latter years. He basically was retiring at that stage, so that's why he's not in mine, as well as that point, obviously. So my first 11. These are basically. I didn't pick this team as the team I thought would gel the most or have the most cohesion, etc. Because I think in terms of that, it's impossible because you just look at the 99 team and that's the team, in my opinion, because we won it all in that year. But these are the players that I fell in love with and sort of made me fall in love with Manchester United. So we kick it off. The Great Dane, Peter Schmeichel. Dennis the Menace at left back, Dennis Irwin. The bald psycho, who's Jaap Stam. He comes from Serbia. He'll fucking murder you. Nemanja Vidic. And, I'm reading it off. I was about to say I love this game, but I took Evra out. And the reason I took Evra out was because I had him in provisionally in left back and I had Gary Neville out. But then I looked at the stats and I thought to myself, you know what? Gary Neville is Manchester United all over. He has been for so many years. He's won so many trophies and he bleeds and loves United. And that's what sort of put me back, turned my head, and I put him back in for that reason. So Gary Neville at right back, nicks it. Then we have golden balls. You have to have Becks in there. Without Becks, those two crosses would have never come into the box in 99 at the Camp Nou, and we never would have fucking got those goals. So Beckham has to be there. I'm Irish myself. Need I say more? The Irish fucking captain, Nutter, Roy Keane, and I do have him as my captain. I do believe he's the best captain of all fucking time, and I've never seen a better one. I don't think I'll see a better one ever again. And this was really tough. I know Daz is going to go nuts here, but I left Giggsy out. Someone had to be, yeah, I know. Someone had to get the bullet, and I'll tell you why, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, or if you agree with this, Daz, right? So we had 3 up top. So, sorry, before I go into that, I had to have Scholes on the left centre. You have to have Paul Scholes, and I'll bring in why. Scholes, he's probably the best player I've ever seen live. Talent-wise, I've never seen a player like him, but we'll chat about that later on. So, on the right, I had Becks, Keno, and then the left centre mid, we had Paul Scholes. He scores fucking goals. And the reason I didn't put Giggsy in is because these 3 up front, I could simply not leave them out. It was impossible to leave. And I had to give Giggsy the bullet, unfortunately, but I didn't want to. Anyway, remember the name, Wayne fucking Rooney on the left. Just extraordinary, and that's the only word I can use to describe Wayne Rooney. And he's in the left striker. Right striker, we have Ruud van Nistelrooy, the best finisher in the box I have ever seen, ever. And I don't think I will ever see another one. If I will, it's going to be incredible. And then I stuck in the number 10, just behind the 2, the fucking king. The king, Eric the King. And that's my starting 11. Sorry, Giggsy.
Can't argue any of that, Kelly.
I didn't want to leave Giggsy out, but one of them had to go, and it was between Giggsy, Ruud, and Scholes. Couldn't leave Scholes out, and I just couldn't leave Ruud van Nistelrooy out. I just couldn't.
So see,
I really wanted to get Van Nistelrooy in my team, but
this, right? So I'm a stat head, right? So all afternoon I've been writing out what everyone won in my team, right? And it's literally like this, right? And see when I came to Ryan Giggs's,
Statman Dazza.
It's nearly half the page.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I can't leave him out. He's got to go in. He's literally got to go in. I couldn't leave him out. He's one,
I feel like pardon the pun, but I feel like I've cheated on my wife, bro.
He's like half the page, man. He's like, it's unbelievable.
No. Thinking about it a bit more, I probably should have left someone else out. But
Masood will remember this, and Phil and Benno might remember this. But see, in the early 90s, 92, 93 in particular, Ryan Giggs was tearing teams apart, man. People remember, younger Man United fans just remember Giggsy as he'd lost that yard of pace, and he was okay passing, but he was winding down. I remember him 18.
He was express.
Oh my God! He was
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember that goal he scored against Spurs where he nutmegged. I can't remember who he nutmegged. Yeah. At White Hart Lane. One of my favorite goals of his.
But besides all the infamous goals he scored, notably, obviously, on the way to the treble, that insane fucking goal against Arsenal in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Besides that, when we switched him to the centre, he was incredible as well. I remember a seriously important goal he scored with his right foot against Aston Villa, and that was a huge game. We needed to win that. Yeah. So he scored unlimited amounts of important goals, even when we switched him into midfield, the centre, and when he was sort of slowing down. I feel you're making me feel terrible now, does it?
Yeah, no. To be fair, I am kind of. I'm going to answer this for Chase now. To be honest with you, because I know I can hear him pacing. To be quite honest with you, so for me, it was a toss-up between Ronaldo and Giggs. The reason I went for Ronaldo was because, for me, when I used to go and watch week in, week out, watching Ronaldo, the years he won the Ballon d'Or, he wasn't always my favourite player, but he's probably bar Paul Scholes, he's probably the best player I've watched with my own two eyes.
I'll be honest with you,
That's
surprised.
purely why I've gone. It's purely why I've gone for him. It's if I could pick 12, I'd pick 12.
I'm surprised
That's
not
what
more
it is.
people did go for Ronaldo. I left him out and I went for Giggs. And I was speaking about my team to my manager at work, and he couldn't believe I left Ronaldo out. But I went for
He
Giggs
didn't make
personally.
my team, Ronaldo, John, or so don't whatever.
It's,
The
I
only
think
reason-
My conundrum was in midfield because, like I said, my favorite player was Brian Robson. So it was a toss-up between Robson and Keane. And if Robson played more in the Premier League, I would have gone for Robson over Keane, and he would have been my captain. No doubts about it.
I'd have played them both. I'd have played away. But look,
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
look, Ronaldo was in my team. And I had to take him out for Beckham.
I think even though if I had one more player, it wouldn't be Ronaldo, it'd be Van Nistelrooy.
See, for me,
Sorry,
Ronaldo
I
did.
think Cole for
Ronaldo
me.
didn't make it for me purely because of his second string at United. It kind of flattened it for me.
Mate, I'll be honest. I have to. That was where I was torn, but I've had to go. For me, Ronaldo was in because them 2006 to sort of 2009, them 2-3 years. When he won the Ballon d'Or and all that, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal for me. But I think that's a decent. We got some decent sides there, apart from Chase's, to be honest. Who I think didn't read the agenda.
Daz will like this one.
I'm sure he'll be back next week to counter that argument.
Yeah,
Tom's got me in the crosshairs here.
that's it.
The weirdest
Dazzy,
shout I
Dazza.
saw on Twitter was, I can't remember who it was, but one person did put Pogba in.
Yeah.
Let's not go there for now. Let's stick to where we're going. Phil, I believe you wanted to say something to Dazza, mate.
Here we go.
Daz will like this one. So there's one player that nearly made it into my team, and that came very close. And I'll tell you why. It was Lee Sharp.
The sharp.
Purely because he was the first. He was the first player that I ever watched.
Shuffle.
He's the reason why I supported Man United.
Yeah.
It was the
Remember,
sharpest
Phil.
shuffle, the goals.
Phil, I've got a request.
As good as Giggsy was, Sharpie ousted him for the left wing.
Yeah.
He made them
Yeah,
What beat them both was the celebration, bro, that Benny just did.
I was going to say, Phil, for everybody that's watching, with it being International Week, would you be prepared to do a quick shuffle for us?
Do the Sharpie
Absolutely
shuffle, Phil.
not.
Gives a
No,
wiggle.
Sharpie was brilliant.
Where Lee Sharp was phenomenal. And
Yeah.
he kept Giggs out the team. Honestly,
Did
he
we-
made Giggs work for the spot.
Talking
Dazza
of
did we
shuffles,
buy him from? Dazza did we
shuffles,
buy
is
him from
everybody-
Toki United?
Say again?
talking of shuffles, does
Did we
everybody
buy
remember the
from-
Giggs and Ints?
Yeah.
Do you
I
remember
said,
that
did we
shuffle?
buy Sharpie from Toki United? If I'm not mistaken, we bought it from Toki.
Torquay, yes. I'm sure we did. Somebody like that. Somebody like that.
Yeah. No.
I'm sure. Hold on.
But the
It'll come-
gigs,
Just,
well, the gigs and
Just
The
in
Gigs and
terms
Gigs celebration
of
at
our,
QPR.
just in terms of our captains, guys, can we do a quick rip around of who we chose as the captain and why? Benno.
Roy Keane, for me, best captain I've ever watched play for Man United.
Yeah, same as myself.
Simple as.
It's short and sweet, and yeah.
Same, exactly the same as me. Best captain I've seen, Roy Keane.
I,
Roy Keane in this team now. Wow, imagine.
I made Eric Cantona my captain, and the reason why was because Keane came to United, and Steve Bruce was the captain. So he'd been all right with it, and Cantona's aura and dragging that young team, I could not give it to him.
Yeah, it was a really difficult conundrum for me, and what it came down to was Turin. That was why I went with Keno.
It was a toss-up, to be honest. It was a toss-up because I
Would
love
it?
Keane.
Yeah,
But
the thing is
Eric,
with
I think
Cantona.
Eric needed the armband though. It calmed him down a wee bit.
Yeah, the thing. Even Keno would tell you he would have Cantona as the captain.
Yeah.
Because in Keno's own words, and it was for everyone to see, he turned up in the big fucking games.
Yeah.
And he always made his mark on the big games, and he won us the trophies in the big games, like the half volley against Newcastle at St. James's, the arrow against fucking Liverpool at Wembley. with those beautiful, famous cream fucking suits that the fucking those idiots wore. But yeah, no, for me,
Chasing chaps as well says he'd have Cantona 100% down there.
Yeah. Schmeichel captained us in big games as well, remember? Schmeichel captained us in very big games. So I've got a team full of captains, man. Honestly, doesn't matter.
I think that's it. You got to be realistic here. If that them 11 players, whatever we pick, are stepping on the pitch for you, you've not got to worry about them shying away. So it's that. So right, so we're
50 my team.
Take it, mate.
Might not have a lot of pace, my team in the middle, right? But I'd win every 50-50.
Bit of steel.
A few red cards flying around there, brother.
Bit of steel. Right, so we've done the 11s. We're going to do this as a bit of a whip round now. So a quick 15, 20-second answer again. The best player you've ever watched for Man United in the Premier League era, and why? Killian, I'm coming to you first.
Wayne Rooney. I've seen.
Sorry.
What? No, I just wanted to, just a quick one. I've seen Cantona live. I've seen Ronaldo live. I've seen Rooney live. I've seen Scholes, Giggsy live. I've seen many a player, world class. What? I was in the Stretford End when Rooney scored against Shay Given. I could see him giving out to the ref and telling him to fuck off. He turns around and just hits it. Honestly, I've never seen a goal like that. I've seen some special goals at Old Trafford, but when I saw that go in, I just thought to myself, this kid is he's just different. He's different. And that that memory will always be etched in my memory until the day I die. And that was the moment I turned around to me mate and I said, he's the best player I've ever seen, I ever will see. He was just different. He was different gravy. Yeah, that's me, Wayne Rooney. But Eric Cantona is my footballing god. I want to get that across.
Hang on. You would come to me?
That's it. We'll go to you now, mate.
So, just quickly, I've been very fortunate. I've been going to Man United I've been going to Old Trafford for nearly 40 years. 39 years, I think I've been going. I've seen all of these players live. I agree with Kelly what he's saying about Wayne Rooney. And I've seen phenomenal players play for Man United. But no player has ever made me feel like Eric Cantona made me feel. I knew that when Eric was playing, we're going to win this. We'll be all right. Easier. So just purely for his impact on the club and his aura on the pitch, I'm all in, man. Eric Cantona, he's probably the best. Ability-wise, probably not the best. Probably not the best ability-wise, but just for everything, for the whole package, Eric Cantona.
You're making me doubt every decision I'm making tonight.
I love him, man. I love him.
So do I. He's my god, and I feel terrible now.
You'll be fine, Killian. You'll be fine. Phil, let's go to you, buddy.
So, this is such a hard one for me. Obviously, you've got the obvious ones: Cantona, Giggs, Ronaldo. I've seen them all. But there's not one player that's made me feel more close to United than watching Andrei Kanchelskis bomb that wing. He was the first of the fast-paced, energetic wingers ever, the first one to be introduced to the Premier League, and he completely changed the game on its head. He just got me excited. I loved to watch him play, attack defenders. You know, nobody knew how to deal with him. He was one of the first wingers to come into the league that was fast-paced. There was no let up with him. And my God, could he score a goal? Could he hit a ball?
Jesus there, Phil. He was untouchable.
Oh.
First came in, he was untouchable.
Yeah, so for me, it's as an early memory that sticks is Andrei Kanchelskis.
He was close to my 11, Phil.
Yeah, he was a special player.
Yeah. Oh, phenomenal.
Masood? Just before we go to Masood, sorry for interrupting. Are we picking players that we love? Are we picking players based on the best player we've seen ever in regards to talent? Because talent-wise, Wayne Rooney. Who I love, Eric Cantona. So what way are we choosing this?
Best player you've watched played for Man United.
I think for me, still Cantona for impact, definitely.
In that sense,
Dragon a team.
in that sense, mine has to be Wayne Rooney.
Look,
Wayne Rooney all day long.
watching from South Africa, I wasn't lucky enough to. I haven't been lucky enough to watch at Old Trafford a lot. So I've watched the team when they've been on pre-season in South Africa a few times. So that's the advantage. So for me, watching someone, the best player I've watched live for United has to be Paul Scholes. I mean, that guy as a midfield general was unreal. Those crossfield balls, just the ability to make space and to get into the box at the right time to put away a chance is something that is not taught, and it's something that's natural. And for a guy who suffers from asthma, to be the player he was in the Premier League is unreal.
Yeah,
well said.
Absolutely no one can argue with that.
It ain't
Like,
easy being Weezy, Masood. It ain't easy being Weezy, baby.
But that's why he's got the nickname. Well, that's why he's got the nickname from Rio. They used to call him Satnav, what the quality of his ball. He got the ball to the right place at the right time.
Jono.
I'm also going Paul Scholes. Amazing player. Even some of the players that have come out and said, like some midfielder like legends like Iniesta, Xavi, Zidane have all said if they would play with one midfield player in midfield, it will be Paul Scholes. And I think that says it all. What
Guardiola said it the other week, didn't he?
Yeah.
Guardiola said it as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're finishing on a clean sweep there because for me it's Paul Scholes as well. Again, reiterate what the previous two have just said, that I've never seen a guy play so many steps ahead of the opposition. It's like he's playing snooker. It's like he knows what he's going to do when he receives the ball in a few sequences down the line. He was just for a guy that couldn't tackle. Let's be honest with you. For a guy that couldn't tackle, he hasn't quite had as many retirements and comebacks as Tyson Fury. But for me, yeah, best player I've ever watched. So yeah, I think that covers that part of the show. So we're going to go into now your top 3 signings and why. Again, we're going to try and kind of keep a bit of tempo with it. We're going to go around the room, see what we've got, and let's discuss. So this time I'm going to come to Phil. You're going to go first, boy.
I think the first and the top of the list of everyone's list here has got to be Cantona. Completely changed the club. You know, he just transformed that club. So I think Cantona has got to be at top of everyone's list. Has to be. I can't see any argument that's going to change my mind. He came in, added a certain attitude. He literally just tore the club apart and ripped it up and started again. And obviously propelled us to the first league title as well. And led us to the success that we had. My second one is got to be Roy Keane. Absolute phenomenal signing from Forest, I believe. Added the strength into midfield for years and years, and obviously alluded to the treble. And I think my third one has got to be Wayne Rooney. It has to be. He's our all-time top goal scorer. He had an aura like Cantona, where he had that aggressiveness, the angry Wayne Rooney that we first saw when he first came. He could literally get the game by the scruff of the neck and get us over the line or drag us back. So for me, they're my top 3. There's many more that I could have chose. Andy Cole could have been another one, but my top 3: Keane, Cantona, and Rooney. And if you look at them, they're all pretty similar characters and attitudes and their abilities. So that's my top 3.
Very well said, mate. I'm sure plenty will agree. Dazza, let's go to you.
Number 1 for me is Eric Cantona. He was, and I've just wrote down here quickly, he was the catalyst to a dynasty. He was the catalyst. Without him, I don't think we would have anywhere near what we had. Number 2 was Roy Keane, because he was the continuing drive for silverware. Standards, he set the standard, maintained the standard. And then number 3, he handed it over to Wayne Rooney, who then demanded the standard, was there for a long time, provided stability and longevity, and became the top goal scorer of the club. So, same as you, fellow, same as you.
I'm going to go for myself here because I'll be honest, I've got the exact same 3 as well. I think, Wayne Rooney, spending 30 million or 28 million or whatever it was on an 18-year-old leading goal scorer. You can't argue with it. Again, Eric Cantona, for what he did, transforming the club the way he did that time period. He was actually one of the main reasons I kind of got into football as a kid. So I remember going on the Old Trafford tour and I got to go in Eric Cantona's cubicle or whatever like that. And my first ever pet was called Eric as well after Eric Cantona. But for me, Eric Cantona, and again, Roy Keane, need I say any more on them 3 really. So that's mine. Jono, let's go to you.
Jono, look worried.
Clean sweep here. I've written exactly the same down.
Cantona. Let's go.
Cantona. We said it before. What a player! Transform the club. Neville, one of my favourite player for United ever. What a captain! And Wayne Rooney, top goal scorer. What more can you say?
Yep, that's good. Masood.
Exactly the same, boys. Exactly the same.
Great minds, thank you.
I just reiterate what everyone said, but Cantona was the king that came back to his kingdom. In a sense, Old Trafford was made for him. Roy Keane basically was took the baton over from Robson, and that was basically his signing. I was lucky enough. We signed him the year they did preseason in South Africa, and we signed him on that preseason tour. So I got to see him play, and Rooney basically. How can you not have your top scorer of the club of all time in your team? And he was just basically. I'm going to say, respectfully, but he was an animal when he joined us. He calmed down towards the end, but he was just something else. For that age, a player for his age was beyond his years in terms of maturity when he just joined United, especially the pressure that comes with playing for United in a setting like Old Trafford. He basically took to it straight away, especially on his debut, scoring that hat-trick against Fenerbahce.
I think not enough people mention about Rooney as well. Like, obviously, he dropped into midfield as well later in his career. And
sacrificed a lot, didn't he?
He was moved about a lot for Tevez and for Ronaldo as well. People forget.
Yeah. I just want to, before we go to Killian, I just want to drop a quick bomb as such here. So Chase is in the comments, and it's quite funny, right? So Chase has mentioned that he's put the best 2 I've got to see live are he's got Wayne Rooney. He spoke about his best players being Eric Cantona, Dennis Irwin, and Wayne Rooney, yet none of them are in his best ever Premier League 11.
Fraud.
Killian, on we go to you, my friend.
All I'll say on the note of Chase, it's gonna be spicy when he returns. I think Benno's gonna get the bullet. No, here, listen. I primarily had the same as Philo. And probably the majority of you, but just to make it a bit interesting, I'm going with Sir Alex's legacy. And we're going to start off in 1987. He signed a certain fella from Norwich City, ended up scoring 2 massive headers with his massive fucking head, Steve Bruce. That's how we started Sir Alex's legacy. And that was the man to get those all-important goals. Second one, as many of you pointed out, Eric Cantona. You can't not have him. He changed the trajectory, as Dazza said, and it's just incredible. He was Andy Gray. Was it Andy Gray or one of the Scottish boys? You can't win anything with kids. Was
Alan.
it Scott?
Alan Hansen on it, yeah.
Alan Hansen.
Mm.
But with the Scotsman said it, not me.
Yep.
But here, listen, he was the man that fired the kids up and got them playing and made them believe, I believe this, gave them the belief to go ahead and win all these trophies. The class of 92. He led the class of 92 in my eyes, him along with Keno. And then no one else said this. A little lad from Norway, Molde. What does he do in 99? How much did we sign him
has
for?
won it.
Fuck all money we signed him for, and he comes up trumps and forever a legend. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I had to mix it up there, boys, because it would have got fucking boring. But yeah, no, they're three players in Sir Alex Ferguson's United legacy that spanned 20 odd years, over 20 years there. So massive signings, three massive signings, and we were so spoiled across those 20 years. So I had to pick them and go a bit different to your lads while I was listening to you. But anyway, that's my three.
I'm glad you did, because I think a lot of the boys in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, a lot of shade gets thrown on them. And Steve Bruce was an absolute fucking colossus for this club, by the way. We were in the stadium. I was talking about it yesterday on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. See when he scored those two headers against Sheffield Wednesday in 7 minutes into the time, I ended up 7 rows down from my dad. It was mental. But without Steve Bruce, honestly, Steve Bruce was an absolute colossus, by the way.
Yeah.
And there's loads of Mark Hughes, Brian McClare. There's loads
There's
of
a funny story with those two goals from Steve Bruce against Sheffield Wednesday. We were going to a wedding in Durban. My dad's cousin got married, so my dad and I were in the hotel room before the wedding. We were getting ready, showering and stuff. My dad was in the shower, and I screamed when the equalizer went in, and when the window went in, I went in my underwear. I was running in the hallway of the hotel room. I was gone mad. So, yeah,
Brilliant.
that was brilliant.
Yeah, I'll always remember.
Yeah.
Just great memories.
I think we got to go. We've covered a lot there. So we're gonna flip it now. We're gonna have a bit of fun. We're gonna come to 11s afterwards. We are now gonna go into our 3 worst signings of the club again, and why this time, Killian? I'd like to start with you.
Worst signing number 1, Alexis Sanchez. I'm not even going to elaborate on this. The best part of his career was playing that piano. End of story. Number 2, the worst deal we've ever done, ever. The amount of money he was on, I thought it was a dream come true when we signed him.
I think that's the big thing with Sanchez. At the time, he was arguably the best player in the Premier League alongside Eden Hazard, and it just went completely tits up. So
we thought it was going to be another Van Persie job, and it was an absolute shocker.
Did you see the interview, what he came up with a while back, saying that because the toxicity of the club, he wanted to leave
day one,
basically the second that he joined.
That's the
people who fail in life or anything in sport, they always point fingers. It's because of this I didn't do well. It's because of this. And this is why I'm going to come to the next person, and I don't care who says what. And Jody, I know if you're watching, I know you are probably watching. Paul Pogba. Left for free, bought for 100 million, left for free again. Paul Pogba, 1 game, I remember him playing well. 1 game, City away. Fair play to him. 1 game, 90 minutes, well done.
I can remember.
Left for free again. Terrible. Number 3, there's a lot of bad signings we've had over the years. Probably. I don't want to be harsh on the kid, but baby. He was the one signing that Sir Alex admitted to not actually researching and just going with the confidence and reassurance of his scouts, and it just turned into a flop. Now, in fairness to that kid, went on to La Liga and did a few tricks and scored a few goals. And I'm not sure if he's retired, but he might have. I think he's still going. But yeah, it was you could throw a good few signings up there in the air and catch a few others. But yeah, they're my three.
Yeah, I'm going to come to myself now. Again, I've gone with Bebe as well. I think spending, his best part of 7.5, 8 million on a guy. I'm 99% certain on this one. He was picked up in like a homeless World Cup or something like that. Because he scored something like 50 goals in 4 games, something daft like that. Now, nothing against the lad, but let's be honest, it's shit business. So that's why he goes down for me. The next one. Trousers tucked into your socks. Massimo Taibi. I'm going to say 2 things about this guy. He was shit. Simple as. he was shite. Let's have it right. And then the third one. Go on. Sorry.
No. Did he not have a great game against Liverpool?
He had a great game against Chelsea.
Yeah, that's why I didn't take him.
We still get beat though.
Yeah, mate. I just, when you just watch somebody and just think like, have you lied on your CV or something like that? Like, it's just for me. I think we were in an era where the goalkeeping standards had gone from so high. Then we went through like Mark Bosnich was up there as well. He stunk, and obviously found a bit of Charlie as well on the floor. And then my final one. I'm with Killian on this one. Now, this is nothing against his ability as a player, because you could see he had all the attributes. But for me, Paul Pogba is one of the worst signings we've ever made. As I say, nothing against the player from a skill level. He was signed for the best part of 90 million quid, 100 million euros, whatever. We spent 5 years trying to unlock him to let him go on a free, and he left the hyena under the football pitch.
And we lost the keys looking for the lock.
That to me, it's not the worst. It's not the 3 worst players for the club, but it's one of the worst signings and bit of business we've ever done. And that is the epitome, an example of how this club has been run for the past decade.
And just to finish off on the Pogba note, when he finished at United, he said, "I'm going to show United fans what they missed." He missed the drugs fucking test. That's what he missed. The drugs test. 2 years, he's gone. See you later, bud.
I know people at the gym that take the same substances as him, so let's be honest, we ain't missing much. So
the pregnancy pills, bro.
That's it, mate. That's
it, bro.
That's it. Jono, let's come to you.
Mine are similar to what people have said. I'm going to go Sanchez first. Just what the club has done run the last 10 years. The wages he came on straight away for the impact he had. Shocking. Next, I'm going to go to a guy who clearly didn't want to be here. He was only a year. We signed him from Real Madrid for 60 million in Di Maria. Obviously, he had this stuff with his burglary that he was saying his excuse. He wanted to leave Manchester because of burglary and all that shit. But a player that I really, really respected before he left Real Madrid and the player he was like one of the players from the Champions League the year before. He won man of the match in Champions League final the year before, and then he clearly did not want that move, and it just didn't work out. And then I'm going to go for, because again, similar to Di Maria, and he's still here at the moment, and I think we know where we're going with this. Because I thought so much of Sancho before he left. He was at Dortmund, and how much I appreciated Sancho. I'm going to go Sancho because it's obvious he's on the way out. 80 million we spent on him. What have we seen for that 80 million? We've been chasing him. We were chasing him for like 3 seasons. He was clearly a top target for the club. And what has he done?
No, well, very, very, very well said, mate. To be fair, did you come prepared tonight? By the way,
I made a few notes.
Dazzler, let's go to you, my friend.
Right off the bat, right. Alexis Sanchez, for all the reasons that everyone else that's picked Alexis Sanchez The guy was a disaster, an absolute disaster. My second one on the list is Massimo Taibi. And the reason I put Massimo on the list is not to be unfair to him, but that was a monumental moment in our history. We had to get the goalkeeping sorted out. And it was just such a bad decision. Such a bad decision. I think he ended up playing only 3 or 4 games, and that was him. So he was a disaster, an absolute disaster. And my third pick, and I've agonised over this, right? Because it was going to be Pogba, and it was going to be Sancho, and it was going to be some of the other ones that we've talked about. And like Kelly said, you could throw a million of them up and pick them out, right?
Yeah.
But mine's is Donny van de Beek. I think we signed Donny at a time we were screaming out for a midfielder, and we all thought, hallelujah, we've signed the midfielder we've been crying out for since Michael Carrick left. And for whatever reason, it's not worked for him. I don't think English football suits him, but I think financially as well, it's been a disaster, a signing. An absolute disaster. 46 million quid. Most of it paid down, by the way. No instalments. He's on the best part of 180 grand a week. And like, you talk about Pogba having 1 or 2 games. Give me a half that Donny played well.
Mm.
So
yeah,
I'm
mate.
not a nice guy, but
yeah.
And it says it all with Donny as well. Like, he can't even make it under the manager who made him the player.
Well, Eric Ten Hag sold him. Yeah, Eric Ten Hag sold him, didn't he? And I think he's always one of those that's been under the spotlight. People saying, "Oh, he deserves a chance. He deserves a chance." But every time he had a chance, he stunk. So you know, no, very well said, mate. Masood, let's go to you.
Okay, like everyone else, Sanchez, that has to be there. I mean, there's not much more I can add to Sanchez. Then, like John, I'm going for Angel Di Maria. I think I quoted a tweet the other day when the Premier League played that clip of him scoring that goal against Leicester. I mean, that chip was amazing. I just put there we were sold dreams with that goal, and it didn't work out after that. And the third one for me has to be Lukaku. For me, he was a disaster as well. I mean, the amount of money we spent on him, similar to Pogba, whatever it is, but he just wasn't a Man United player for me. He might have had the odd game that he did well for us and he got us crucial goals at times and stuff, but for me, that's one of the worst signings we ever made. And he didn't want to be here, especially towards the end of his United career. And I have to go with Lukaku.
No, very, very fair points, mate. Phil?
Right, so I've gone different.
Brace yourselves.
And I've got a request to Kiddo and Benno if I can throw a fourth one in just to generate a bit of a debate. But let's just
do your three
first.
and then drop it in. Yeah.
My first one is the coke sniffing, donuts eating, wife beating Mark Bosnich. Absolute dog shit. My second one, he was just terrible. I mean, it's always going to be difficult replacing Schmeichel, but for me, it was just a panic buy. After Tyaby, we absolutely panicked, and God knows what Fergie saw in Tyaby, but Fergie must have been sniffing the same coke that Bosnich was when he signed him. My second one is Karol Poborski. Signed off the back of a successful Euro 96 campaign, 32 appearances, 5 measly goals. And that's why he fits in. So we signed him off the back of an international competition, and I'm never a big fan of that.
He scored the chip goal, right? He scored the lob, the keeper.
Yeah, and I think that's what
we take a winger scoring 1 in 6 right now.
Well, you would do that. You would do that. But this is going to be This is going to be the controversial one. Juan Sebastian Veron. Not for his ability, purely for the hype that came with him. He didn't live up to the expectations that we thought we'd get for the £28.1 million we paid for him at the time. And I believe it was a transfer record. if I can remember rightly.
I think so.
So
yeah.
he got
I'm going to
51.
interject real quick, Philip. Real
Go on.
quick, just for a second. While he was I do agree with you, he was a very disappointing signing.
Mhm.
But he scored the winning goal at White Hart Lane in possibly the biggest comeback we've ever had
Yeah, but
in a
yeah, but so
5-3 win against Spurs. So if he wasn't there, you never know how that game would have went. But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from.
yeah, but mate, Diego Forlan scored at Anfield and won the game, and he was still dog shit.
Yeah. No, it's a fair statement. He was signed as one of the best midfielders in the world at the time, wasn't he? And you expected more from an Ali G lookalike. Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from there, Phil. To be honest, mate.
I just wanted to go different because the obvious candidates are Bebe and the likes of them, and I just wanted to go different. But I've got the fourth one I want to add in.
Go for it, bro.
And this is going to raise some eyebrows now. Cristiano Ronaldo, the second time round.
Agreed.
It's a fair point. Agreed.
Because for me,
he derailed the process.
Under Ollie, we were making progress. He comes along, and it might not have been all his fault, but it just seemed a bit of a coincidence. When he signed, we've just gone full circle again.
Because we lost Cavani. Cavani lost his way, didn't he? And
Yeah.
living off Cavani and all that shit. Then he
I was
was never
hoping for a
back
bit-
in Cavani, was he?
I was hoping a bit more of a reaction than that, to be fair.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah,
To be honest,
100% agree.
I think that's it. I think a lot of people forget that he was bought the second time, so you look at it as bad business. I think so. It wasn't all pure profit when he was at the time at the club or anything like that. But yeah, I think again, as we said with the likes of like Pogba earlier, to kind of sum up the way the club's been. He was a prime example of that. I was just excited probably as much as the next person because he was still firing all cylinders. But looking at it now, you think, it didn't work, and it never was going to work. Let's be honest. But
it was nice at the time.
Yeah, it was a bit of a fairy tale, but unfortunately turned into a nightmare. And I'd even go as far to say he got Ole the sack. I do believe, as well as Daz, Ole was taking them on a specific direction, and I think it was going well. Now, it's all hypothetical at this stage, but yeah, it is what it is. But unfortunately, yeah, I wouldn't have signed them. We basically, in my opinion, I think we basically signed them so we wouldn't sign for City.
I think so. Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think there was that, and I think the Glazers saw it as a Tom Brady opportunity. He saw what he did with the Bucks, and I think they just looked at it with that. Invest short term in something like that, hoping for a quick return. But very very well said, gents. We're gonna be wrapping things up soon, so I want to go through our worst Man United Premier League 11s here. We don't need to go into loads of detail because I think there's a reason they're in this worst 11. I can see people are rubbing their hands already. I'm sure the comments are going to get firing up as well. So we're gonna have a bit of fun to sign off with on a Sunday night. So Dazza, I saw you rubbing your hands first, so I'd like to come to you first, my friend.
I tried to go, and by the way, come at me, all of you come at me. I tried to go for as shit as possible, right? I don't think this team would score a goal, never mind win a game, right?
Have you got Chase's 11 there? Is that what I can...
That's Chase's best 11. So I'm playing a 4-4-2, right? In goals, Massimo Taibi. And then I've got Guillermo Varela, William Prunier,
Yes.
Marcus Rojo, and Alexander Butner.
Exactly.
Right? Then I've got Gabriel Obertan, Jemba, Kleberson, and David Bellion. And then up front, I've got Bebe and Manuccio. Absolute dog shit.
I've got a feeling I'm going to be raising you some more shit, to be quite honest with you. No, I like that, mate. I like that. Jono, what you got, mate?
So I've got Talibi in goal. Darmian, I didn't rate him. Fullback. Tyler Blackett, was it? I can't remember how you know.
Tyler Blackett. Yeah.
I'm struggling on one more centre back. Butner. And then midfield, I've gone for Di Maria and I'm struggling with another midfielder.
Do you want us to come back to you, Jono? Would you like us to come back? Right, we're gonna go to Masood.
Come on, Masood.
Massimo Taibi in goal. Guillermo Varela, exactly the same back five as Des. Then you've got Obertan on the wing. You've got Donny van der Beek in the midfield, and Jemba as well.
Oh, you're so bad.
And left wing David Bellion, which we were sold dreams with that kid as well.
We were so
And up top you got Giuseppe Rossi and Dong.
Nice. Some good names there, mate. Good names. Phil, talk to me.
Bosnich, William Prunier, Diego Dallo. Can't stand him.
Oh.
Cannot stand him.
Go on, Phil. Shots fired.
Diego, if you're watching, apologies.
Now, I feel guilty for saying this, but Phil Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that. I can't think of another one for the back. I'm really struggling.
Rojo.
Rojo wasn't the worst, is it?
It's fucking damn.
Do you know what? I'm gonna have to go with Lindelof.
Ooh.
You know what? He was in my thoughts because, no offense to Chris Smalling, I find him very similar to Chris Smalling. Always guaranteed a fuck up. Always. Always.
So
apologies,
midfield,
but it's true.
Midfield, I'm going for David Bellion. Paul Pogba. Jemba. And the sexiest bloke on earth, Chadwick.
Oh,
Yeah.
look.
Bit harsh
You
on
horrible
Lukey.
bastard.
Leave Lukey alone, lads.
Diego Forlan.
Oh, harsh.
And my favourite, the Mr. Mannequin, Anthony Martial.
Oh. Chases like this.
Not bad. Jono, have you got yours before we finish with me and Killian?
It's nearly done. If you could do Killian and then.
Nearly done. Right. Okay. I'll go with mine because we'll go with Killian last. We know Killian likes to sign off. So I've gone with Massimo Taibi in goal. I've got again Varela, Prunier, and Butner as a back three. On midfield on the wings, I've got Bebe, I've got Jemba and Cleverson in the middle, and then the guy with the wettest hair going, Chris Eagles, on the other. And then up front, I've
David
got
Beckham from Wish.
that's it. I've got Manuccio, David Bellion, and Mr. Fangzhu.
Like Dom.
Or Dom.
Yeah, big ding dong, big ding dong. There was a couple of others. Zoran Tosic and Adam Jetic, I believe it was pronounced as well. Nearly got in there. Let's be honest, I never watched them to even determine if they were shit or not.
You can even think of Kiko Makeda as well. I mean, he got us the one goal, but I mean, he did.
Oh no, he's a legend.
That guy deserves a knighthood just for that half an hour period. So we'll leave him. Jono, are you done yet?
No, I'll go on.
Killian, we'll come to you, Mike. We'll come to you. Oh.
So
I'm ready if you are.
Go ahead, Jono. Go ahead, Jono.
So Talibi, Darmian, Blanket, Phil Jones, Butner, Pogba, Di Maria, Anderson, Sanchez, and Bebe.
Who?
Anderson.
Anderson!
Why?
You know he scored a penalty in Moscow, yeah?
Oh, I was right behind that goal. I was right behind that goal.
You lucky devil. Dad.
Controversial, brother. Controversial shot. Yeah,
Anderson.
listen. Love the Big Mac, that fella. And a
Jono's
salsa.
chase in disguise.
Choice.
Shit on Fabregas, though, didn't he? Shit on Fabregas. Let's remember that. Come on.
Jono's chase in disguise. No, not bad, brother. Not bad. But Anderson, come on. You have to give him props for that penalty alone. Right.
Killian. Oh, sorry, Killian. I was supposed to say before we come to you, our man behind the keyboard has popped up again quickly with his worst 11. He's got Tim Howard in goal. He's gone Varela, Lindelof, and Tyler Blackett at the back. Jordi Cruyff, Jemba. He's got Adnan Januzaj with Bebe on the wings, and then he's got I don't like this one. So he's got Dong and Louis Saha.
Oh,
He was a player.
Louis
He was a player.
Man.
He was a player.
Wayne Rooney was asked who was his favourite strike partner out of all that he played at United, and he said it was Louis Saha. You're out of order, Chase. I call you out of order.
Yeah, I don't agree on that one.
In fairness, Sir Alex said that Phil Jones was going to be the best captain United ever seen, and similar to Louis Saha, injuries just ruined their careers.
Yeah.
Louis Saha for me was absolute electric, and he was unbelievable for Fulham. And then when we got him and he scored in his debut when he was banging them in, he was magic. But injuries crucify players.
That's why I put my back, Phil Jones and players like
It's
that.
a curse we have. I mean, I don't know if Deza remembers. The same thing happened when we signed Frank Stapleton as well. He wasn't as good at United as he was at Arsenal.
Definitely not. Joe Jordan wasn't as good either. Just Gary Buttles, Nottingham Forest, just wasn't as good either. So, right, Hams. Listen, Man United top's heavier than any other top. Some players just, they can't do it. Sometimes the Hams, man. But Chase, you're out of order. You are out of order. I'm going to have a word with you later.
Always
That
mixing
shows
it
you how
up.
Mexicans.
Always mixing
That
it
shows you
up.
how. It shows you how Mexicans don't like Americans. You have to have Howard as
Yeah, Tim Howard never built the wall, bro. Leave it out.
Chase would choose Mark Bosnich or Massimo Taibi ahead of Tim Howard. That's insane. Yeah, get
But
checked
if
out,
we
bro.
do,
You could even put the likes of Ricardo and Andy Gorham up there before
Andy
Tim Howard.
Gorham, bro.
Rest in peace.
Andy
Rest in
Gorham.
peace.
Jesus. I don't know what diet or diet regime they had Andy Gorham on. It must have been the McDonald's one, bro.
Dennis.
Right.
Killian, finish us off, mate. Give me your
I'll
worst
finish
11.
Yeah, so I think you can't. It has to be Taibbi in goal. At the back, Prunier, possibly the worst signing we've ever had. Tellez, for me, rubbish. I'm really excited when he came in. Rubbish. Darmian, rubbish. Who else did we have? Pogba, Sanchez. I really liked the kid, and I actually didn't want him sold, but it was just it was a nightmare. Daniel James. I didn't, as I said again, didn't want them sold, but just didn't work out. Jemba, of course. Cleberson. Di Maria, snake. Sancho, disgraceful. And up top, I hate to say it, but it's Ronaldo. Second signing Ronaldo, bro. Because, and I'll tell you why, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is one of my heroes. And I do believe, as we spoke about earlier, I do believe that sign ruined him and ultimately cost him his job. But
he's not been our worst striker. Come on.
No.
Oh, no, I'm not saying, yeah. You can try, yeah, here, listen. You gotta mix it up.
All line.
Nah, we probably go Minuccio, but Ronaldo a close second.
Just for you, Chase Forlan, he was absolute dog shit.
Yeah, did you hear that?
Loves him, so he's definitely on the dog shit list.
My wife loves him. Did you hear that, Ali? No. Anyway, boys, I think we've covered all the bases tonight. It was absolutely thoroughly enjoyable, that one, especially during the international week. So it's great to reminisce and enjoy a proper United pod. But Benno, co-host, thanks so much, gents. And Jono, Phil, Masood, Daza, absolute pleasure. And Reds, all the viewers, hope you enjoyed it tonight. And good night and God bless. Over and out. Magnificent.
All the best, guys. Thank you.
Reds. Give us a follow and subscribe if you can. We're on Twitter, StreamYard, TikTok, and all the rest. Jono, do you have a few more platforms to throw out there?
Twitter, TikTok, I think YouTube. You've covered it all.
All good
Instagram.
outlets. But on all good outlets, yeah.
Everywhere. So shout out to the Sports Social Podcast Network as well. We're part of that.
Big shout out. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mag 24/7 Reds, over and out. God bless. Thank you all. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys.
End the stream.
End.
Sports Social Podcast Network.